Hello, my lovelies. It is time for round 77 of Have I Read It? So stay tuned. If you're new here, hi, hello, welcome. If you're not new here, welcome back. Have I Read It is one of my multiple TBR games that I play in order to help pick my TBR for the upcoming month. And the way this one works is you get to help me pick what I read for the upcoming month. So I react to a book haul that I've done over 3 years ago, and I tell you if I've read the book, if I haven't read the book, if I've unhauled the book. And out of all the books that I still own that I have not read in that haul, you get to vote on which book or books you want me to read in the upcoming month. And depending on how many were in the I own and still haven't read, will determine how many I have to pick. So if I have 1 to 10 that I still own and haven't read, I'll pick the number 1 voted book. If I have 11 to 20, I'll pick the top 2 voted books, and so on and so on. So today we're going to be reacting to the Book Outlet Haul February 2020. And from the thumbnail, it looks like it's just a small box, so it shouldn't be too many books. So fingers crossed, I knocked them all out of the park. Especially after how the last one went. Yeah. Alright, well let's just jump right in and get started. Hey guys, it's Melanie. Welcome to my channel. It's time for another Book Outlet haul. So stay tuned. So it is time for my February Book Outlet haul, and I'm just ready to dig right in. Right off the bat, I have my receipt, but the prices are no longer on the receipt, so I'm going to have to pull it up on my phone here. Then we've got paper and paper, and that's all the paper. Okay, I have got quite a variety in here. So the first book that I have here is The Unseen, which is actually a 4-part series, I think. But this has part 1 and part 2, and then I already... Okay, The Unseen, I feel like I still own this one, but I need to double check. Okay, I do still own this. And I have not read it. So these are, it's an omnibus of the first 2 books in the series. So we have It Begins and Rest in Peace. And it says, out walking alone one rainy night, Lucy becomes convinced that someone or something is following her. Soon she begins having terrifying visions and dreams, and she still can't shake the feeling of an unseen presence, always watching, waiting. So if you want me to read this, vote The Unseen. All right, next up. Okay, next up we have Misconduct by Penelope Douglas. I feel like this is one that I may still own. It is. We are not starting out well at all. This says, former tennis player Easton Bradbury is trying to be the best teacher she can be, trying to reach her bored students, and trying to forget her past. What brought her to this stage in her life isn't important. She can't let it be. But now one parent-teacher meeting may be her undoing. Meeting Tyler Merrick for the first time makes it easy for Easton to see why his son is having trouble in school. The man knows how to manage businesses and wealth, not a teenage boy. Or a young teacher for that matter, though he tries to. And yet there is something about him that draws Easton in, a hint of vulnerability, a flash of attraction, a spark that might burn. Wanting him is taboo, needing him is undeniable, and his long-awaited touch will weaken Easton's resolve and reveal what should stay hidden. So if you want me to read this, vote Misconduct. All right, next up. Okay, so the next book in this box is one that is sort of an outside of my comfort zone type book, but I was interested and might be something that Marty would be interested in. I don't know. Well, let me just get into it. So it is A Life in Parts by Bryan Cranston. I do still own this one, and I have not read it. I've actually put this one on my TBR a couple of times and just never got around to actually reading it. This says, Bryan Cranston landed his first role at 7 when his father cast him in a United Way commercial. Acting was clearly the boy's destiny until one day his father disappeared. Destiny suddenly took a backseat to survival. Now, in his riveting memoir, Cranston maps his zigzag journey from abandoned son to beloved star by recalling the many odd parts he's played in real life. Paperboy farmhand, security guards, dating consultant, murder suspect, dock loader, lover, husband, father. Cranston also chronicles his evolution on camera, from soap opera player trying to master the rules of show business to legendary character actor turning in classic performances as Seinfeld dentist Tim Whatley, a sadist with newer magazines, and Malcolm in the Middle dad Hal Wilkerson, a lovable bumbler in tidy whities. He also gives an inspiring account of how he prepared physically and mentally for the challenging role of President Lyndon Johnson, a tour de force that won him a Tony to go along with his 4 Emmys. Of course, Cranston dives deep into the grittiest details of his greatest role, explaining how he searched inward for the personal darkness that would help him create one of the most memorable performances ever captured on screen, Walter White, chemistry teacher turned drug kingpin. Discussing his life as few men do, describing his art as few actors can, Cranston has much to say about creativity, devotion, and craft, as well as an innate talent and its challenges and benefits and proper maintenance. But ultimately, A Life in Parts is a story about the joy, the necessity, and the transformative power of simple hard work. So if you want me to read this, vote A Life in Parts. Wow, so far I haven't read anything. Next. Okay, so this next book is actually one that I've read. Gosh, it's been a while. I think I listened to the audiobook sometime last year, I believe it was, and I was traveling somewhere. But that is Radio Silence by Alice Oseman. So, as I said, I have read Radio Silence. I really enjoyed it. I believe that I have a different edition of it because I got like a matching set, and I unhauled this one. I gave it to my friend Clint because he really wanted this edition, so yeah, I gave him that. So I guess I can technically mark this one as read and unhauled, but I do still have a different copy of it. All right, next up. So the next book in this box is one I'm kind of kicking myself for because I thought I had gotten so much better about this. Sometimes I end up getting a book that's like part of a series, but it's not the beginning of the series, and I don't have the beginning of the series, and that just means I have to go and buy the beginning of the series before I can even read the one that I already have. Yeah, I did that again. So the book that I bought was Mary Unleashed by Hilary Monahan. Okay, I was thinking that was going to be a totally different book. I thought I was going somewhere else with what I was saying. Mary Unleashed. I feel like that's one that I've unhauled. Let me check. Oh. Okay, so it looks like I still own Mary Unleashed. But what I was getting at in what I was talking about in the other video is that it's actually book 2 in a series. And I don't have book 1. Give me 1 second. Okay, so I think for this one, because I just looked to see if I could get this from my library or from Libby, and like for the first book, and I can't. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and unhaul Mary Unleashed. And we're going to go ahead and mark that as unhauled, and I'm going to find it. I think it's actually probably in this room somewhere. And I'm going to go ahead and take it and put it in my unhaul pile. So I won't put that up for you to vote. Alright, let's get back to the video. Alright, next up. Okay, the next book here is one that I totally got for Xander. That is Who Was Alexander Hamilton by Pam Polak and Meg Blaviso. This was one that I got for Xander. I don't even think he has it anymore. So unhauled. All right, next up. Okay, next up we have This Adventure Ends by Emma Mills. I feel like maybe I read This Adventure Ends, but I'm not sure. Okay, it doesn't look like I read it, but I do still own it. This says, Sloane isn't expecting to fall in with a group of friends when she moves from New York to Florida, especially not a group of friends so intense, so in love, so all-consuming. Yet that's exactly what happens. Sloane becomes closest to Vera, a social media star who lights up any room, and Gabe, Vera's twin brother, and the most serious person Sloane's ever met. When a beloved painting by the twins' late mother goes missing, Sloane takes on the responsibility of tracking it down, a journey that takes her across state lines and even deeper into the twins' lives. Filled with intense and important friendships, a wonderful warts and all family, shivering good romantic development, and sharp, witty dialogue, the story is about finding the people you never knew you needed. So if you want me to read this, vote This Adventure Ends. All right, next up. Okay, next up is one I'm really excited for. It is As Old as Time, A Twisted Tale by Liz Braswell. Okay, I do still own this. I have not read it, but I know it's part of like a series. I don't know if these books need to be read in order though, or if they are done as like standalones. Let me look it up. Oh, actually, I did read this a few years ago, and I gave it 4 stars. So, I do still own it. Okay. I thought surely I hadn't read it. All right, next up. Okay, the last book in this box is How to Be Brave by E. Catherine Kataris. I don't know. Let me see. Okay, that's one that I have unhauled. And that was the last. So there are only 4 books to choose from. You can vote for The Unseen, Misconduct, A Life in Parts, or This Adventure Ends. I'm very curious to see which book or books you choose, and I will pick the number 1 voted book. Just comment below and let me know. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a big thumbs up. If you'd like to see more videos like this, click that subscribe button down below. And until next time, remember to always be completely you. Bye.